Have you ever found yourself sitting on the couch, having a snack, eating, and then maybe half an hour, 20 minutes later, you think, what? And you realize you've gone through an entire family-sized bag of chips and maybe gone back for a second bag of chips and finished them both. And you have no idea. You're just going to have a few and think to yourself, wait, how did that happen? That's what binge eating looked like to me before I started my weight loss journey. I'm betting it looks similar to you as well. Trust me, you are not alone. Many, many people suffer from this persistent habit that seems to take us onto auto drive when we don't want to do it. So today we're going to delve into this pesky, persistent habit with kindness and care to ourselves and take a look at the why behind doing it, as well as some coping. Hi there, my name is Easter, and here we talk about working towards a healthy mind, healthy spirit, and healthy body. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you for your loyalty, and I hope that all of you will glean some wisdom as to how to get yourself out of the very baffling habit of binging. Let's take a look at what binging actually is and what it might look like to you and what it looked like for me. Why we do it, and most importantly, how do we stop doing it? Okay, let's get real. Binging isn't about eating a lot. It's about eating a lot. A lot. And it's about eating way more than you plan to eat, as if you've been put on autopilot and the choices you've made and the boundaries you've set around food are completely just thrown out the window, and you find yourself eating to the point of so much that you are actually physically uncomfortable. I did that time after time after time. And afterwards, every time I'd say to myself with so much shame, so much remorse, and so much regret, why, Easter? Why? Just why? Why are you doing this to yourself? And I hated myself for it, and it saddened me. And the more I hated myself and the more sadder I got, the more I did it. It was a vicious cycle, and it was one I never thought there was an answer to until I learned that there is. And I stopped, and you can too. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I am an avid journaler, and even back in the day when I was 350 pounds, which was 200 pounds ago, I was journaling, and I came across this entry where I was writing in the morning, and I had ordered my usual 12 Tim Hortons peanut butter cookies. Now, these aren't cookies, these are cookies, and they're very sweet and very addictive. My journal said, oh, my cookies just arrived. I'm not going to have more than 2. I keep journaling, and I come to a point where I say, oh, there's only 7 left. Well, I'm going to go put them in the kitchen so I don't have any more. I keep journaling, and maybe I was going back and forth and stopping in between, but I get to the point where I say, I effing hate myself. Why do I do this all the time? I hate myself. I can't stand that I can't stop eating. I can't stand that I don't have any control. How is it possible to eat 12 cookies at once, day after day after day? I was so sad that the tears were spilling down my face. I remember that day, and I remember many other days. As a matter of fact, it was so bad. I'll tell you this story. My sister was visiting me maybe 7-8 months ago, and I was trying to give her something from my closet that I don't wear anymore, and I was looking for it, and it's in my wardrobe. And my wardrobe, you can probably see behind me on this side, it's big, and there's these double doors, and I pulled out the sweater I was going to give her, and I saw this flash of red, and I thought, oh, a Tim Hortons box from the cookies. So I took it out, but there was another one, and I took it out, and there was another one. Now you have to remember, this closet is full, so you don't just see the boxes. Well, I realized that there were several there. There ended up being 56 boxes. They were big ass boxes, and they had 12 big ass cookies in them that I ate every single day of my life. It was a horrible, shameful, hurtful, hateful habit, and I hated myself for it. But here were these 56 boxes reminding me that at one point in my life, I felt like I had no control. At one point in my life, I really didn't have control. But somewhere along the way, by divine intervention, I was taught how to resolve my emotions and get to a place where I could have healthy outlets, healthy releases, and worked myself to losing 200 pounds and no more binging. It is a miracle, and you can have it too. Binging can feel like an overwhelming rush where you feel like you're soothing yourself in a hurry and you just plow down the food thinking that this is going to make you feel better. Newsflash, food doesn't talk to you. Food doesn't say, it's okay, honey. I know you're having a bad day. I'm going to make you feel better. It doesn't say, hey, everything's going to be okay. Let's work through the things that are really hurting you on the inside. It doesn't say, oh my gosh, you're having a terrible day. I can help you. No, food is inanimate. Food is not alive. Food is not compassionate. Food is not kind. Food is not caring. Food, actually, when you use it like that, those binge foods, that binging behavior is the enemy, not your friend. Do you know what I'm saying? Food is not the answer to your stress, and it's not the answer to your hurt emotions. It's not the answer to any trauma or hurts you've had in the past. And it's certainly not the answer to a bad day. People know you have an eating problem. Hiding your binges, hiding your food behind the little cushions in the couch, hiding your food in the corner, it's not a secret. So stop thinking it is. Stop pretending and lying to yourself. Hello, you're lying to yourself. You need to wonder what's going on and what's bringing you there in the first place. And when you start to wonder, you start to meditate, you start to pray about it, you're going to find some answers. So many of us overeat. So many of us binge eat. You are not alone. This is a really common eating problem. It's a regular part of life for people with food addictions who don't have control of the food, who use food as an answer to their stress or to their hurts or to their excitement or whatever emotion happens to be happening in the day, or even boredom. Binge eating often comes with that feeling of being out of control, and at that moment we really are. But I want you to know something. Binge eating isn't because you're failing. It's not because you're weak. It is actually a response to what's going on in your emotions and a warning saying something's going on. But food is not the answer. And you know that already, or you wouldn't be here watching this video, would you? Sometimes it feels too big for us to wrap our heads around in that moment, but that's okay. You can think about it now. Take some time to meditate and pray and listen. Every one of us, that still small voice inside you is waiting to help you resolve the things that are driving you to these unwanted habits in the first place. Day after day, I promised myself I would never, ever order those cookies again or have that huge bowl of popcorn every night again. I didn't binge just once a day. I did it all day long. There is a way that is healthy, caring, compassionate, and kind to yourself to help you work through those emotions, those scars, those situations, those circumstances that are stressing you in the first place. Food is only a temporary escape. It is not the answer to our stress. It's not the answer to our hurts. It's just a temporary 3 seconds. Put it in your mouth, you taste it for 3 seconds. Think about it. Do you really want to eat 3 seconds of pleasure, to have all those calories building and building and building, making you bigger and bigger and bigger? Then the shame, the guilt, the remorse that you get is overwhelming. I know this cycle. I've been there. We don't talk to people because we don't want them to see what we look like. We don't want them to see how much we eat. We don't want them to know our secret. It's not a secret. Everybody knew. And it's probably not a secret for you either. When you weigh 100 pounds overweight, or like me, 200 pounds overweight, guess what? People know you have an eating problem. So be kind to yourself and say, yes, this is a problem and I want to solve it. and there is an answer, and I'm going to be kind and loving and compassionate with myself and follow the steps I need to take to get that answer. The question is, what do we do to stop binge eating? Well, like I said, we face ourselves with compassion. Now remember, if you had a friend who perhaps had an illness and you look at them and you say, oh, honey, I wish I could make you feel better. You know what? You're going to be okay. Here, take this medication or follow this vitamin protocol and have this apple cider vinegar and have the chicken noodle soup. Whatever it is, you would do what you could to verbally comfort them, to physically comfort them, to medically comfort them into feeling better. When you have an eating disorder, it's like being sick. It's something you don't have control of. The same as that friend of yours had the flu. Why can't you look at yourself with the same compassion? Why can't you look at yourself with the same kindness? Change is possible. Change is probable. Change is the answer to what you're looking for. Changing your perspective, changing your actions, changing your responses, and changing how you release those emotions and stressors. Understand your triggers. Is it stress? Maybe from work, maybe from family situations. Is it past scars rising up and making you feel depressed and sad and like despair? Is it the answer to every emotion you get like it used to be for me? Because nobody saw me, but hey, I did. God did. It's not a secret. Everybody sees you're 350 pounds. Hello. Another key strategy is to make sure that you're eating nutritiously and enough. You have to plan your meals. Think ahead of time. Plan your meals a week in advance. Shop for just what you need and make sure you're getting the nourishment that you want. Sometimes the cravings come because we're not nourishing our body properly, and eating properly is going to eliminate this reason for needing to binge. Another thing to do is to couple mindfulness with your eating. Now, I don't mean you have to sit and think about every single bite you have and chew, think about it. I'm talking about using a food journal, your feelings journal, and write down every time you eat how you're feeling. There's your planned meals, which are fine, but anytime you eat outside of that and you feel like, oh, I just need to eat something, and we feel like we're hungry when maybe it's only an emotional hunger and not a physical hunger, journal that down. It's going to give you critical clues as to why you overeat. Finding other ways to deal with the emotions behind why you eat is the game changer. This is where we journal. This is where we go to our higher power or to that still small voice inside us, and we pray and we meditate and we think and we give ourselves time to sift through the feelings and emotions and release them to whatever we believe in. This is where we journal and we gain perspective about what's going on the inside. This is where we do healthy releases like walking or talking to friends or doing healthy habits like crossword puzzles and crafts and pottery or dance like I do or go swimming or to the gym. There's so many positive ways to release your energy. Even explore the city you're in. There's always these little nooks and crannies that you may not know about. Take time. Go there. Do anything other than eating when it's not planned healthy eating. This isn't about not enjoying food, because God knows I love my healthy food. So it's not about eliminating food entirely and looking at food as the enemy, because food is not your enemy. Toxic food behaviors are the enemy and the reasons that drive you there. This is about breaking the cycle, the vicious cycle that drives us over and over and over again back into the binge cycle. Eat, guilt, shame, remorse. Then eat, guilt, shame, remorse. Get it? You can break this habit. I did, and you can too. You are not alone on this journey, and I want you to think about what I've said and leave your comments down below. And if you're looking for some more strategies, I'm happy to help. Make sure to leave a like and tell me how you're doing on your weight loss journey, and let's tackle this together.